Hello, students. I'm here to tell you how to um, access your student data sheet for the class for the Scientific Method and Pulse Lab. It does not matter whether you're in HBio or CBio. The labs are slightly different, but accessing the student data sheet is the same, and also how to insert a graph is the same. So after you have completed the procedures where you have taken your resting pulse and your pulse while you're standing and also your pulse while you are holding your breath, you're going to come down here and you're going to notice that it says on Google Classroom, you're going to find the Pulse Lab class data sheet. So I want you to do that, and you're going to be entering your values. So right here, I have the Pulse Lab class data sheet. You're going to record your name and record your median or your average values at rest, standing up, and holding your breath. And after everyone has done that, you're going to have an alert from your teacher that it is complete, and look for an announcement on Google Classroom. And then you're going to notice that this is set up so it automatically will calculate the class average, which is the median, and also, the class average is the mean, and also the median, which is the middle number if you arranged all the numbers in a line. And then what you're going to do is you're going to actually come down here and you're going to select this part of the data sheet, and you're going to copy it, and you're going to go back to your lab, and you're going to place it right here. And when it says link to the spreadsheet, you're going to say yes, because you want any changes in the data. Let's say somebody entered wrong data and they're going to change it. You want that to show up here. If you don't do that, what you're copying is just like a photograph in time of what it looked like at that moment. And so here we have it here. Now, the reason these look like this and make no sense is because there's no data actually entered yet. So then you're going to come down here, and in order to create your graphs, you're going to create a Google Sheet, and you're going to label it Pulse Lab Results. So this is going to be your own sheet. You're going to continue watching this video, and I'm going to show you how to set up your data table and create a graph. Be sure to move this sheet that you've created into your Unit 1 folder under your Honors Biology folder in your Google Drive. So we're just going to try to stay organized. So if you look over here, actually I made a tab on this sheet. It won't be there when you're doing it. Now if you notice, I set up the data table like this, which is what you're going to do. You're going to create your own sheet, not a tab on this class data. You're going to actually create your own sheet, and you're going to title it. Now, you're going to have your at-rest average, your standing up average, and your holding your breath average. And you're going to take the class results and link them, put them here, enter them here manually, and you're going to put your results in here as well. Now, then what you're going to do is you want to create a chart. So in order to do that, the first thing you do is you have to highlight the data that you want charted. So here's your table, and you want to highlight the data. So then you're going to say Insert Chart. And it has inserted a chart. Now, it just chose a line chart. When you're making charts, you have to decide the best kind of chart to show what you want. And in this case, a line chart is not going to cut it because we are trying to compare the class data. I think the best way to do this does compare the class data and your data, but I think the best way to do this is actually not with a line chart, but with a bar chart. And this is a stacked bar chart. I don't want a stacked bar chart. I don't think that's the best way to do it. It's a column chart. So if you come down here, you can find some different charts. For example, here is a column chart. And this, I think, is a good way that compares your data to the class data under the 3 treatments. Now, you also want a good title. This is not a good title. Your title should describe what this is actually showing. So you want to do that and have it a little more descriptive. Also, in this particular case, you don't necessarily need to have a label for the x-axis. This is the x-axis. But you do need a label for the y-axis, because how do we know what these numbers are? Now, these numbers are obviously fictitious because I would be dead if this was my beats per minute, but I just entered a bunch of random numbers. So in order to do that, you're going to come over here to Customize, and you can customize the chart axis and titles. So to change the chart title, you can do this. And also to change the vertical axis, you can enter a label for the vertical axis. And I'm going to let you come up with what that label should be, but I'm going to just say label. Oh, you're not going to use the word label, sorry, label. But you're going to come up with whatever it is yourself. That's not the correct way. You can play around with this and look at all kinds of different things you can change, and you can look at how you can make it look different. You're going to be using a lot of graphs this year, and so it's a good idea to learn how to use this. Now, we want to take this and we want to insert this into our lab itself. So how do we do that? You come up to these three dots and you select them, and it pulls down and it says, if you didn't like your chart, this is the way to delete it. But you want to copy the chart. So you're going to copy the chart and then switch over to your lab and come down here, and it says to insert the graph here. So put your cursor here, and then you're going to right click and you can paste. Now it's going to again ask you if you want to link to the spreadsheet, and you do want to link to the spreadsheet for the same reason as if you change any data you want it to change. So here you have it. You can resize it yourself if it's too big. And you can, delete some of this extra space, make it look good. And then you can use this to help you answer the questions here. And when you're answering your questions, I'd like you to do it in blue. Sometimes I remember to make the last period here in blue, and then everything after it will automatically be blue. But it's helpful to us who are correcting your work if your answers are in blue. I think red is a little tough. You can talk to your teacher about what they actually want, but I prefer blue. Okay, thank you very much.